Young and the Restless Early Edition Spoilers, Kyle's Shocking Betrayal. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Beautiful Today. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Young and the Restless Weekly Spoilers find Kyle Abbott strongly considering an enticing offer during the week of June 24 to 28, 2024. On My and R, check out the latest weekly spoilers for the CBS opera. Young and the Restless Early Edition Spoilers, Kyle Abbott shocker ahead. Next week, on My and R, Kyle Abbott is livid when his mom, Diane Jenkins, threatens to fire him. Later, Victor Newman approaches Kyle and asks if he's considered his offer to run Glissade with Audra Charles as her co-CEO. Kyle admits it's time for a change and agrees to work for Victor, but only if he gets rid of Audra. However, Victor may not agree to that, and Sue gets aggressive with Kyle. No doubt, he tells him that his offer stands as is, take it or leave it. He likely will not dump Audra. Indeed, it seems she's pivotal in his plot against Jack Abbott. My and R early weekly spoilers, Victor weaponizes Kyle. Also, on Young and the Restless next week, Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, uses Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, as a weapon against his father, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Victor thinks Kyle's talent is being wasted at Jabot Cosmetics. Plus, he plans to outsmart Jack. No doubt, Victor wants to destroy Jabot. Later, Jack and Kyle's mother, Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, begin to worry about his future. So they must find out he's working at Glissade alongside Audra Charles, Zalika Silver. Meanwhile, Audra strategizes and plans her next move on Young and the Restless. Surely, she won't want to work with Kyle and may try to push him out. Young and the Restless weekly spoilers, Lily makes big move. Elsewhere, on My and R, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, stuns her brother, Devon Hamilton, Brayton James, and Nate Hastings, seen Dominic. She says the constant infighting and bickering are stopping Chancellor Winters from growing. However, she thinks she and Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, have come up with a way to stop the conflict. Just then, on Young and the Restless, Mamie Johnson, Veronica Red, walks in and says that's something she would like to hear. But Devon starts to question Lily's judgment, and later, he and Billy fight each other for control. Also, Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, slaps Billy with an ultimatum. So it appears this Chancellor Winters drama will not end well. Elsewhere, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, get bad news. Y and R is wild right now. Don't miss a moment to see if Kyle Abbott betrays his family and contributes to their downfall on the CBS daytime drama. Genoa City is a town where families are everything. The bonds of blood, trust, and loyalty define relationships, both personal and professional. However, even the strongest of families can be torn apart when ambition, betrayal, and secrets come to light. And next week, fans of The Young and the Restless will witness one of the most shocking betrayals to date. Kyle Abbott, the once loyal son, takes a dangerous step that will change the course of the Abbott family forever. Kyle's actions will reverberate not just through the Abbott family, but also through the entire landscape of Genoa City. With his sudden shift in allegiance, he sets the stage for an epic showdown, leaving Jack Abbott, Abby, and Tracy reeling from the betrayal of the one person they thought they could count on. Victor Newman, ever the strategist, is about to have a significant new ally, but at what cost? In this explosive week of The Young and the Restless, Kyle's shocking betrayal will ignite a series of consequences that will leave viewers at the edge of their seats. Will Kyle's ambition be worth the family he's about to lose? Will his new alliances with the Newmans ultimately destroy everything the Abbotts have worked for? Monday, the seeds of betrayal are planted. The week begins with Kyle Abbott sitting in his office at Jabot Cosmetics, his mind swirling with thoughts of frustration. He spent years in his father's shadow, constantly working to prove that he is more than just Jack Abbott's son. Kyle has watched as Abby Newman took the reins at Newman Enterprises, and Tracy Abbott solidified her position in the family business. And all the while, he has felt like an outsider in his own family. For Kyle, the tipping point comes when Jack presents him with a new opportunity, a promotion that would place him in a leadership role at Jibot. But there's one catch. It's not as high profile as he had hoped, and Jack has plans to move in a different direction with some of the company's key strategies. This doesn't sit well with Kyle, who feels more overlooked than ever. The reality sets in. He may never escape his bubbles inside him, and in a moment of weakness, Victor Newman reaches out to Kyle with an offer he can't refuse. Victor, always keen to capitalize on opportunities, senses Kyle's vulnerability and sees potential in him, a potential he can use to his advantage. Victor's proposition is simple. Align himself with the Newman family, and Kyle will gain the power, influence, and recognition he craves. Kyle, already feeling betrayed by his own family's lack of faith in him, entertains the idea. It doesn't take long for his frustration to turn into a dangerous decision. By the end of the day, Kyle has made a decision that will change everything. He will secretly work with Victor to undermine his own family's business. As Kyle's path becomes clearer, the audience is left wondering, will he truly go through with this? And if he does, what will be the cost? Tuesday, Victor's deal with Kyle, a dangerous alliance. By Tuesday, Kyle has fully committed to the plan. He arranges a clandestine meeting with Victor Newman, where the two men discuss the specifics of their agreement. Victor promises to give Kyle the leverage he needs to take control of Jibot, offering him a partnership that will see the Abbott family's hold on the cosmetics company dissolve over time. It's a risky, high-stakes move, but to Kyle, it's the chance he's been waiting for, his opportunity to take control of his destiny. Victor's influence is subtle but powerful. He doesn't tell Kyle exactly what to do, but instead, he encourages him to take bold action. Kyle is instructed to start making decisions at Jibot that will cause friction within the Abbott family, decisions that will ultimately weaken Jack's authority and cause a rift between father and son. As Kyle listens to Victor's words, he realizes that there's no turning back from this. Once he takes this step, there's no way to repair the damage. While Kyle prepares to execute Victor's plan, Summer Newman, his fiancée, remains blissfully unaware of what is happening. Their relationship, which has always had its ups and downs, begins to experience further strain as Kyle becomes more distant. Summer notices his emotional withdrawal, but when she tries to confront him, Kyle brushes her off. Victor's grip on him is tightening, and Kyle can't afford to show any vulnerability. The tension in their relationship starts to mount, with Summer wondering what is really going on behind closed doors. But Kyle is resolute in his decision. The allure of power and revenge against his family is too strong to resist, even if it means alienating the woman he loves. Wednesday, the first move, Kyle's deceptive plan. On Wednesday, Kyle takes his first major step in his betrayal. He arranges a meeting with Jack Abbott to discuss the future of Jibot. Kyle is careful to conceal his true intentions, presenting himself as the dutiful son eager to take on more responsibility. He knows that Jack has always trusted him, and this trust is something Kyle will use to his advantage. During the meeting, Kyle suggests a major restructuring of Jibot's leadership, including a proposal to cut costs by making some drastic changes to the company's operations. It's a proposal that will undoubtedly ruffle feathers and cause tension within the company, but Kyle plays it off as a move to improve efficiency. Jack, believing that his son is acting in the company's best interests, reluctantly agrees to proceed with the plan. But unbeknownst to Jack, Kyle has already leaked information to Victor, who is working behind the scenes to destabilize the Abbott family's grip on Jibot. With Victor's help, Kyle sets in motion a chain of events that will result in Jack being forced to make difficult decisions that will weaken his position. The betrayal is becoming more real with each passing moment. Abby Newman, who has always had a close relationship with her father and brother, begins to sense that something is off. She is puzzled by Kyle's sudden push for change and the strained atmosphere between him and Jack. In private, Abby confronts her brother, but Kyle does his best to deflect her suspicions. He tells her that he's simply trying to make Jabot more competitive, but his evasiveness only deepens her concerns. She can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. As the day comes to a close, Victor quietly celebrates his progress, knowing that he's one step closer to achieving his ultimate goal, taking down the Abbott family business from within. Kyle, meanwhile, feels a mix of excitement and dread. He's made his choice, but the cost of that choice is starting to feel heavier than he expected. Thursday, Kyle's betrayal unveiled. The truth of Kyle's actions begins to unravel. Jack and Tracy start noticing the cracks in the Abbott family's foundation. They receive reports about the changes Kyle has been making at Jabot, and they quickly realize that Kyle's decisions are not in line with the company's best interests. Jack decides to confront his son, determined to understand why he has made these choices. When Kyle and Jack sit down to discuss the situation, the confrontation quickly becomes heated. Jack demands to know what's really going on. Kyle, knowing that the jig is up, finally admits the truth. He has been working with Victor Newman. Jack is stunned. The man he has worked so hard to build a legacy with, the son he has trusted and nurtured, has betrayed him in the worst possible way. Jack's heartbreak is palpable as he listens to Kyle's justification for his actions. Kyle tells his father that he's been overlooked for too long, that he's never been given the opportunities he deserves. His ambition, fueled by years of frustration and resentment, has finally pushed him into Victor's arms. The emotional toll of the conversation is immense. Jack's disappointment in his son is clear, and for Kyle, the weight of his betrayal begins to settle in. He thought he could move forward with Victor and still maintain some semblance of connection to his family, but it's becoming increasingly clear that he's lost something far more valuable than business success. As the confrontation intensifies, Tracy steps in, trying to mediate and prevent the situation from escalating further. But her efforts are in vain. Kyle's betrayal has done irreversible damage to the Abbott family dynamic. The emotional rift between father and son has deepened, and there's no telling how they can ever repair their relationship. Meanwhile, Abby is left to process the situation from the sidelines. She feels betrayed not just by Kyle's actions, but also by the fact that her brother was willing to tear apart everything their family built in the pursuit of power. Summer, still unaware of the full scope of Kyle's actions, is left in the dark, but she can sense the strain between them. Her heart aches as she watches the man she loves drift further away from her. Friday, the fallout continues, a family divided. By Friday, the fallout from Kyle's shocking betrayal continues to unfold. Jack is heartbroken, but also resolute in his belief that Kyle must be held accountable for his actions. He begins to take steps to protect Jabot from the damage caused by his son's alliance with Victor Newman. The company's future is uncertain, and Jack is forced to make difficult decisions that will impact the entire Abbott family. Kyle, meanwhile, is facing the consequences of his actions. He's gained the power and recognition he always wanted, but at what cost? His family is torn apart, and his relationship with Summer is hanging by a thread. As the week ends, Kyle realizes that he's sacrificed more than he bargained for. The price of his ambition is higher than he ever imagined, and the repercussions of his betrayal will echo throughout the Abbott family for years to come. Looking ahead, as we move into next week, the aftermath of Kyle's betrayal will continue to unravel. Will the Abbott family ever be able to trust Kyle again? Can he repair his relationship with Summer, or has he lost her for good? And what will become of Jabot in the wake of the power struggle between the Abbotts and the Newmans? The answers to these questions will shape the future of Genoa City in the most dramatic way. As the story of Kyle Abbott's betrayal continues to unravel, the consequences of his shocking alliance with Victor Newman begin to take center stage. The Abbott family is on the brink of collapse, and the fallout from Kyle's actions will send shockwaves through Genoa City, reshaping the future of Jabot Cosmetics, his personal relationships, and the entire Abbott family dynamic. But Kyle isn't the only one feeling the heat. Jack, Tracy, Abby, and Summer all struggle to navigate the aftermath, with their lives upended by Kyle's shocking choice. How will they rebuild, and who will ultimately win the battle for control? Monday, Kyle's guilt and Victor's promises. Monday kicks off with Kyle sitting in his office at Jabot, staring at the same desk where he once felt hopeful about his future. His mind is heavy with the weight of his choices. He had hoped that aligning himself with Victor Newman would be the key to unlocking the power and respect he's always craved. But now he's starting to realize just how much he's lost. Kyle's guilt starts to take hold. Jack was more than just his father. He was his mentor, his role model, the one person who believed in him when no one else did. Now, Kyle can't shake the image of his father's devastated face when the truth came out. His heart aches as he remembers the betrayal of the situation is starting to gnaw at him, and he begins to second-guess his decision. But even as he struggles with his guilt, Victor remains an ever-present force in his life. Victor sees an opportunity in Kyle's moment of weakness. Victor calls Kyle to remind him of the benefits of their alliance, stressing how powerful Kyle will become once he's able to take control of Jabot completely. The assurance of power and influence still appeals to Kyle, but the realization that he's alienated the people who matter most to him begins to weigh more heavily than the promise of success. As Kyle struggles with his internal conflict, Summer catches wind of the tension in their relationship. She can feel the emotional distance growing between them, but Kyle remains guarded, unwilling to share the true extent of what's going on. Summer tries to get through to him, but he becomes increasingly distant, unable to face the truth of what he's done. Victor's influence on him continues to grow, pushing Kyle further away from his family. Tuesday, the battle for Jabot intensifies. By Tuesday, the aftermath of Kyle's betrayal has sent ripples throughout the Abbott family, and Jack is forced to take action. He realizes that he can no longer trust his son, and the stakes for Jabot are higher than ever. Jack's leadership of the company is under siege, and the tension between father and son reaches a boiling point. Kyle's influence over the company's direction is growing stronger thanks to his secret alliance with Victor. Abby, who had been suspicious of Kyle's actions for weeks, becomes increasingly concerned. She confronts her brother, asking him point-blank about his alliance with Victor Newman. Kyle, caught in the act, can't deny the truth any longer. Abby is furious, and her anger is palpable as she realizes just how deep the betrayal runs. Tracy, ever the peacekeeper, tries to mediate, but her efforts fall on deaf ears. Abby is determined to stand by Jack, and she makes it clear that she won't let Kyle tear apart their family any further. As tensions mount within the Abbott family, Victor's plans begin to take shape. Kyle, despite his lingering guilt, begins to take more direct action to destabilize Jabot. He makes bold moves to shift the company's direction, introducing changes that alienate some of Jabot's longtime employees and partners. These decisions, although strategic, continue to tear apart the Abbott family's unity, with each move Kyle makes driving a deeper wedge between himself and his father. Jack, feeling the full weight of Kyle's betrayal, is forced to retaliate. He puts a plan in place to reclaim control of Jabot and restore the company's stability, but Kyle's defiance only complicates matters. The Abbott family is now at war, and the battle lines are being drawn between father and son, with no clear resolution in sight. Wednesday, The relationship crisis. Summer confronts Kyle. By Wednesday, the fallout from Kyle's actions spills over into his personal life. Summer Newman, now fully aware that something is seriously wrong between her and Kyle, confronts him about his distant behavior. She has been patient, but her patience is running out. She demands the truth, what is really going on with him. Kyle, who has been avoiding the truth for weeks, finally opens up to Summer, though only in part. He admits to his involvement with Victor, but he downplays the seriousness of the situation, telling her that it's all about business. But Summer, no fool, senses there's more to the story. Her heart aches as she listens to Kyle's half-hearted explanations, but deep down, she knows that their relationship may be beyond saving. Kyle's betrayal isn't just a betrayal of the Abbott family, it's a betrayal of her trust, too. Summer begins to question everything she thought she knew about the man she loved. She had always seen Kyle as someone with integrity, someone who would never betray his family for personal gain. But now, as she faces the reality of his actions, she wonders whether she ever truly knew him at all. As their conversation intensifies, Summer tells Kyle that she needs space to think. She's not sure if she can continue their relationship given what he's done, and the possibility of losing her forever looms over Kyle like a storm cloud. He watches helplessly as Summer walks away, torn between the family he's torn apart and the woman he's on the verge of losing. Thursday, Victor takes full control. Victor Newman takes full advantage of Kyle's fractured relationships and growing guilt. With Kyle Abbott now firmly in his corner, Victor sees an opportunity to take control of Jabot in a way that will leave Jack Abbott powerless. The Newman patriarch uses his influence to ensure that the next set of strategic moves will put Kyle in the driver's seat. Victor, always the master manipulator, convinces Kyle to make a public statement about his role in the future of Jabot. This announcement will solidify Kyle's position at the company, but it will also completely sever his ties with his father and sister. The announcement is carefully timed to coincide with a critical meeting that will determine the future of the company. As the moment approaches, Kyle is torn. He knows this will be a final break from his family, but Victor's promises of power, influence, and wealth make it harder for Kyle to back down. He's already gone too far to turn back now, and as he prepares to deliver the announcement, he feels the weight of the decision settle heavily on his shoulders. The news sends shockwaves through Genoa City the moment Kyle steps into the spotlight and publicly declares his loyalty to Victor Newman, and his plans for Jabot, Jack, Abby, and Tracy are left stunned. The realization that Kyle has fully aligned himself with Victor and essentially betrayed the very core of his family's business will be a blow from which they may never recover. Friday, the family torn apart, the road to redemption. By Friday, the entire Abbott family is reeling from the damage caused by Kyle's betrayal. Jack is heartbroken, but he's also resolute in his determination to protect Jabot from Kyle's influence. Abby and Tracy are furious with their brother, and they begin to plan their next moves to take control of the company back. Summer, devastated by Kyle's actions, is left to wonder if there's any way forward for them as a couple. Kyle's attempts to apologize and explain himself fall flat, and Summer starts to wonder if the man she thought she knew is truly gone for good. But despite the shattered relationships and the fractured family, there is a glimmer of hope. Kyle, lost in the wake of his choices, begins to realize that the price of ambition may be more than he's willing to pay. As the week draws to a close, he is left to contemplate the damage he's done and wonder if there's any path left to redemption. Looking ahead, as the Kyle Abbott family war intensifies, the battle for control of Jabot is far from over. With Victor Newman pulling the strings and Kyle more deeply entrenched in his power grab, it's unclear whether the Abbott family will be able to come together again. Can Jack forgive his son? Will Summer ever trust Kyle again? And will the damage to Jabot Cosmetics be irreversible? Stay tuned as the drama continues next week. The fallout from Kyle's betrayal is far from over, and the consequences will continue to ripple through Genoa City for weeks to come.